Hey guys, how's it going? It's 8-Bit Eric. Welcome back to the channel. We are days away from the release of one of the most anticipated games this year, Cyberpunk 2077. After many delays, many postponements, it is now here. We're in the final countdown. People are getting excited about this. In fact, some people already have their copies. Yeah, Cyberpunk 2077 has already landed in the hands of some people. Not reviewers, not media outlets, not journalists, but actual people who spent their hard-earned money from their pocket have received copies of this already. I believe Best Buy might have accidentally sent out shipments to people. I didn't get one yet. My copy's not here. And people are excited to share this and play this. However, CD Projekt Red, the other day we covered this, asked people on their official Twitter for Cyberpunk to not put video content out before release. And I have some things to say about this, and I also have to mention a situation from one of my friends that is going on about Cyberpunk. But let's read this. It says, here's what you need to know about creating your Cyberpunk 2077 video content before release. So they put out a message. Okay, keep in mind this is after all the postponements, after all the delays. They put out this message requesting people to not stream or let's play Cyberpunk until a certain time or date. They're asking for an embargo. And this is a bit of a gray area, and I'll talk about that in a second. But this says your Cyberpunk 2077 videos and streams before release. We're getting closer and closer to launch, and chances are some of you will get your hands on a copy of Cyberpunk 2077 before release day. However difficult this might be for us to achieve, our ambition is for gamers all across the world to have the same spoiler-free experience at the time the game releases. So they are asking, guys, we want a spoiler-free experience for all. Alright, keep that in mind. It says, this is why we kindly ask you not to stream or let's play or release any similar content before December 9th, 12 p.m. CET, that's not Central Time, and 3 a.m. PST. We'll send Max Tack, you know, the guy who takes down videos, after everyone who does. After that date, however, we would love if you streamed everything like there's no tomorrow. It's 2020. Who knows? Maybe there isn't. So, here's the thing with that. Okay, I understand a company not wanting certain spoilers and things like that. A lot of times when you're a reviewer, and let me talk to you about this, and this doesn't pertain, this is interesting because this doesn't pertain to the people that aren't reviewers, that aren't journalists, that aren't media, that don't cover video games, that don't do YouTube as a method of content creation. This is for the common man. There's way more casual gamers that don't give a shit about making YouTube or streaming or let's playing. There's so many gamers that just buy this stuff and consume that content and don't do YouTube or Twitch for a living or for content creation. So when you're a content creator, you get embargo dates for games. You're told you cannot cover a review of this game until that date. Similar to what CD Projekt Red said on this. Usually in that case, you make an agreement. You contact the company or they contact you. They give you a review copy, and sometimes they might even give you something to sign or an NDA or some kind of form of agreement that you agree and you stand by an embargo date. So you're held to an agreement by accepting the review code. That's why you get it early access or you get it advanced. In my book, and this is the gray area here, receiving a copy from Best Buy that you paid for is not the same as agreeing to receiving a code from the developer for early access to review it. One is held by an embargo, one is not. If a user gets their game, if they get their copy of a game from Best Buy, Target, Walmart, Amazon early, granted it's 3 days early, 4 days early, a day early, I believe they have every right, even though me as a reviewer might not like it, they have every right to play that game and make it however they want. They could stream it, play it, review it, wipe their ass with it, whatever they want. They have every right to do it because they bought that game. They're not held to an embargo date, which is why I think it's weird. And I can understand why they were asking kindly to for people not to spoil the game before release date. I can understand it. But that's where the gray area is. One hand, it's casual people that don't give a shit about embargoes and agreements and stuff like that. And then on the other hand, it's people that are held to that because they are looked at as review outlets, as media outlets, as journalists. And they are held to that embargo. No matter if it's a game, a trailer, some news, a product, you're held to that. So there's two different audiences here. Media, reviewers, journalists that have embargoes that they have to follow because that's part of how it works. And then there's people that are hobbyists, people that just play casually, people that just have fun with it and they bought the game. Two different avenues. They should not be held to an embargo over here. If you got your copy early that you paid for, you have no embargo, in my opinion, because you didn't make an agreement with the developer. So that's where I stand on that. The reason why I talk about this is because one of my friends, Dreamcastguy, actually got his video removed. He tweeted this the other day. CD Projekt Red just removed my Cyberpunk 2077 video. And a lot of people were asking him, for example, no offense, man, but the release date's 4 days away and none of the big sites are reviewing it yet, so not sure what outcome you are expecting here. Okay, so that might be a fair observation at first from 7th level, but he's completely wrong. Reviews are coming out. Washington Post, IGN, GameSpot, several different outlets have posted reviews of this. And they are held to a different review embargo than everybody else. Now, here's the question here. If it's a written review, like Washington Post, for example, that was a written review. If it's a written review, is it held to a different embargo? Sometimes it is. Sometimes you'll see, like, for example, for Immortals Phoenix Rising, I was told before a certain date you can't live stream, but then after this date you can, but you can't review until this date. So I was allowed to have Let's Plays and streams a week before reviews were allowed for Immortals Phoenix Rising. Now, here's the dilemma here. Dreamcastguy bought his game and got it early. He didn't agree to a review embargo. That's where the gray area is at, and I don't think he's in the wrong in this situation at all. He says, legally, I have been told I cannot speak about Cyberpunk until Wednesday. Big video then. Much love. So he was told to wait for the date just like everybody else. Alright, you could say maybe CD Projekt Red is well within their rights on that situation. I disagree. Now, this is nothing against Cyberpunk. I'm excited for that game. I'm still going to get it. I'm still going to play it. I'm going to check the hell out of it out. And I'm going to stream the heck out of it. But I just don't think companies have the right to tell people when they can play their game or not. Or make Let's Plays of it if you got it on your own accord. If you got it with your money. If you got it with your own wallet. With your own pocket. If a company gives you the game or the product, by all means, you are held to that standard of an embargo. I just think it's kind of weird that CD Projekt Red kind of tried to order everybody around. But then you still see reviews being posted and made. It's a gray area that I feel is kind of wishy-washy of them. And I don't know if maybe it's because certain things are favorable or... I don't know, honestly. I can never recall a company asking a huge, general, broad audience, do not play this game before the date or time or we will take your video down. And honestly, this reminds me a lot of what Nintendo used to do with striking content or claiming content. People complained about that back in the day. We had people like Angry Joe and people like actual Nintendo fans upset at Nintendo for striking videos down. CD Projekt Red just came out up front and said, hey, we're going to strike your video down if you post it before this date, but people have not agreed to embargoes, is my point of concern here. I know there's going to be people that play that moral high ground because they just have a bias against either people like Dreamcastguy or myself or whatever, and they're going to be like, well, you shouldn't be trying to get rushed out reviews and try to play this before everybody else and blah, blah. If you bought your game, if I got my Best Buy order already today, I have every right to play it the way I want. Is the end of the story. End of the day, I have every right to play it. And I guess CD Projekt Red has every right to try to flag it. But at the end of the day, I think it's kind of fucked up. Because people that are getting their copies early didn't get it from the developer. They got it from the retailer. And that's why I think there's a difference. But anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Love to hear what you guys have to say. I know there's going to be a lot of people upset, especially those people that like to hate. But that's it. That's all my thoughts. Subscribe if you haven't already, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.